But let's talk about the Jets. 18-1, dead last to win the AFC East behind the Bills at -190. Dolphins 4-1, Patriots 4-1 as well. Their win total at BetMGM is set at 5 and a hook, and they're 125-1 to win the Super Bowl. I think if you're going to bet the Jets it up, first of all, don't waste your money on the Jets at 18-1. They're not winning that division. But win total, 5.5. Can you make a case for the Jets winning more than 5.5 games?
I think you can, just because they had an excellent offseason. And already you see the juice. It's on the over 5.5 wins for the Jets. And it sounds crazy, but still, this is a team that I think is going to be much improved. I think the real question mark is a quarterback. How much can Zach Wilson really improve from last year to this year? Because you can have the greatest weapons around him, but if he can't complete a pass under pressure, that's going to be a problem. Until I see something more from Zach Wilson, it is a stay away from me to bet on the Jets, obviously.
You are making the right call. It's not going to happen this year. Now, maybe it will down the line, but I think all of this is because of their draft. Now, make no mistake, the Jets had one hell of a draft. They even got some really talented players late in the draft that graded out really well. Certainly that will help maybe solidify a really shaky foundation. And if Wilson comes along, then maybe the Jets are better than we're used to seeing because they're always terrible. But ultimately, you're right. Zach Wilson has to play better. He was banged up for a lot of last season, came on a little bit towards the end, but he's got to play better. And still, the Jets defense ranked dead last in the NFL. So I would not put any money on the Jets to go over. And frankly, I feel like that number 5.5 is probably spot on. If I leaned one way or the other, I would probably go under. But you can find better teams at BetMGM outside of the Jets to put your cash on. How about the other team in New York, which is really not the other team? That's the Jets. Of course, we're talking about the New York Giants, who went 4-13 in 2021. When you look at the odds on the NFC East at BetMGM, the Cowboys remain the favorite at +120. That's followed by the Eagles at +185, the Commanders at 5-1, and the Giants at +650. I believe the Giants opened around 8-1, so we've seen some money come in on the G-men. Their win total at BetMGM set at 7.5. They are 100-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen. But make a case for the Giants if you can, based on schedule or the NFC East, of them winning more than 7.5 games. Can they get it done?
I think from the get-go, you look at this number and you think to yourself, oh, the books are giving the Giants a ton of credit because their win total is set at 7.5. This is pretty high for a team that won, 4 games last year? And maybe it's just because they don't have Joe Judge as head coach. I will say it is a huge upgrade now there's Brian Daboll running the ship with the Giants. But still, teams with a new first-year head coach, no matter who the head coach is, they're facing an uphill climb because they got to learn a new system. They've got to learn a new playbook. So it's a lot of moving pieces for the Giants to learn.
I do love the fact that the Giants brought in Brian Daboll. And you look at what he did with that offense in Buffalo. If there's anyone that can help Daniel Jones maybe become the quarterback that the Giants thought he was going to be when they drafted him, maybe it's Daboll. But it's interesting, too, when you hear people say, well, this is a make-it-or-break-it year for Daniel Jones. No, really, because the Giants declined his fifth-year option. So it's not just a platitude or saying that we're throwing out. This really is make it or break it for him. In a division that will be more competitive, I can see them maybe getting over 7.5. I wouldn't bet it, but I do expect a step forward from these guys this season.